Hello and welcome to my knife channel. Well, I just watched a video by Knife Thoughts that he put out a week or so ago, and he was talking about this Rough Ryder Barlow with the main knife blade. The nail nick is occluded, as you can see right here. If you hold the knife, like we're kind of at an angle, but if I hold it parallel with the camera, look at that. You can't get to this unless you go like that. I mean, even if you take a nail nick and you run it straight, you can't get, you won't even touch the nail nick. You have to come at an angle, and then you might, be able to get part of it. Now, the solution to this is, first off, they shouldn't have made it this way. I mean, that's the solution. Put the nail nick on this side, or put the main blade here and put the nail nick on the other side for the pin blade. I mean, the pin blade is a secondary blade, and it's accessible. I've been messing around with stoves and stuff. It's accessible. Now, this is a viewer wanted to know if this was actually T10, because sometimes it wasn't T10. I said, yeah, this is T10. I put it in vinegar. Half the blade. But this one here is like acceptable for like nail nick exposure. I mean, it's enough. The recess is down there, but when you can't do like this. Now, one of the things you can do is grind the kick down on this one and drop this blade down. But then, since this one is just like barely accessible, it's like acceptable, it's going to become unacceptable. You'd have to grind out an access notch on it. I mean, that's a lot of grinding and stuff. And it probably won't happen with this one, but a lot of times when you start lowering the kick on a knife, you're going to start getting blade wrap, so you're going to run into another issue there. The only solution I can see is to put a nail nick over here, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to take a Dremel tool and I'm going to try to cut just a little. I didn't want to follow their lines where they put a nail nick starting back there, because to me, if you're going to open it from this side, you're going to go for like the widest spot. So I want to put it like right down here, and I'm just going to go back just a little ways. I'm not going to go all the way back where this one does, because frankly my fingernails are not that long. I only need like a little portion of it. But that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try that and see how that works. And if it doesn't work, oh well. And if it does, it's a solution. It's not a perfect solution, but I mean, it's a solution to be able to use this. You would just flip it on this side to access your main blade. And you go over to the show side to get your pin blade. And you wouldn't have to change the geometry of the height of the blades or anything else that way. You're just basically putting a nail nick in. A file might work if you had just a file, but I'm going to use a Dremel tool because it's faster and I have electricity. So we'll come back to this. All right, so if I'd had a steadier hand, this would come out a little bit better looking. But as far as function goes, boom. No problemo, senor. See, this one's, I should have just had right here. This was my second attempt. Right here was my first one. I was trying to find out where to hit with the disc and everything. When you clamp it up in a bench vise, do like I did put here, I clamped it up by this part. And then I just held it by hand, the Dremel tool by hand, and that's the main thing, is you want it to sink in enough. And I can touch this up with a file and try to make it look better and everything else, but there you go. It literally took longer to cinch it up in the vise than it did to do this. And it works real easy. Like I said, if you're better skilled at it than I am, you'll be able to make this look better. Like, I could have just had just this one and not this secondary one. But like I said, I was trying to find my mark. And you can see the depth. I went in at least like trimmed fingernail depth. And it's really easy to do now. I mean, that's what you need is purchase. See, if you look at it, if you're making a tool and it's designed to be opened with the fingernail, and you can't get your fingernail, you can't see the access to it on this side, then duh, you've done something wrong, man. Really, they should have they could have just left the pin blade off. But I mean, if you want a two-blade system, put the main blade up front. That's the one you're going to be using. Main blade. Get it? Main. The main one you want to be using. Main blade. Maybe there's a language interpretation problem going on. Or slap it over on this side. No, it's not a match strike. Guess how often I'll use a match strike nail nick to strike matches? Once, just to see if it could be done. But, yeah. So, that's all it takes. It really takes like maybe 4 or 5 minutes. You know, you find your tools, you find why it won't work is because you haven't plugged in the Dremel tool, and then you tighten down everything and then go for it. Now, like I said, it could have been much better, but this is fine. I mean, it's a work knife, you know. It's like, I don't know, how much was it, $12, $13 or something. So now I can get it from this side. You don't have the offensive slant R, you know, the big R over here. You don't have that crap in the way, so now the show side is actually better. So there you go, kind of long-winded, but there's an easy fix. You don't have to grind all this other down and mess with your kick and then fix blade wrap and all that other stuff. Just put the nail nick on the other side. Like I said, if I had steadier hands, better eyesight, and everything else, I'd have done a better job, but functional, hey, it's going to work. So there you go. Hope that helps anybody that has this problem. If you have access to a Dremel tool, that's all you need to do. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.